Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Nicole. I run Crooked Creations along with Jesse. We've been interviewing local artists and businesses just to bring awareness to who's out there and highlight their stories. Today we're here with Robbie Woodside. He's a DJ based in Long Branch and he's been DJing for about 22 years. So, what made you want to become a DJ?
Well, when I started, I had no aspirations of becoming a DJ. I was just a music lover. And at the time when I started, the music that I was most into, dance music, house music, stuff like that, um, wasn't available on, widely on CDs or, there was no streaming or anything like that. A lot of it was underground music and you had to get the vinyl for it. So I started collecting, some vinyl here and there. And then a friend of mine was selling his DJ equipment and he asked if I'd be interested. It was a great price. My two techniques and my mixer, my Pioneer mixer. And then I just started playing the records. And as I was playing the records, it was like, all right, let me learn how to do this well, how to make it sound good. And my best friend at the time, he was away at college. And when he came back, he had roommates that had a DJ set up in their apartment in their house. So he had the basics kind of locked down, kind of introduced me to the basics, and we would just jam out. And then after playing and playing and playing, I started recording my own mixtapes. It was still like recording on tapes back at that time, and I'd start giving them to friends, and they started encouraging me, hey, you should try to do this out. And it took about 3 years, but I kind of hesitantly went into the whole DJ world, not knowing what to expect. I was kind of an outsider. Growing up in high school, I was in a punk band, and like punk and hardcore was kind of my thing. But like, when I turned 20, it kind of switched over, and learning the culture and whatnot, and just playing and playing and playing. Um, yeah, and then it was like, oh, I guess I'm a DJ now, you know.
Love that. How did you start spinning in Long Branch?
So back in 2004, uh, one of my good friends who owned the record store where I bought most of my records from, his DJ name was DJ Kelly. Shout out Kev, what's up? VIP Records was the store in Freehold. It really was like a hotspot for DJs in Monmouth County, and he was doing Sunday nights here at the Mix. And what we would do is it was 4 hours long, and he'd be like, all of us would come out and be like, all right, so tonight it's gonna be me and then Robbie, Armand, and Sean. So we'd bring our records out and we'd each do an hour, and we would just have fun. And then over time, other days during the week, would start opening up, and I just volunteered myself. That's always been my thing. Is just I love this. I love playing. Like hanging out with my friends is cool, whatnot. But the ultimate joy I get is just from playing. So it was like, you got hours, I'll take them. You got hours, I'll take them. And then over time, I just kind of became the resident here. There was nobody else. I was just taking whatever hours I could, and by doing all those hours too, really helped accelerate my growth as a DJ. Just I tell everyone, just play, 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 and then yeah, I became like I guess I started becoming a Long Branch staple, I guess you could say, and over the years, I didn't really branch out much from Long Branch. It just this was like my home. So when other places would ask me, it would be locally, and yeah, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. And you know, almost 20 years later, I'm still here going strong. Doing Avenue now. Still doing my Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights here at the Mix. And yeah, that's pretty much how I became like a Long Branch guy.
Sick. I love that. What are some pros and cons of being a DJ?
I mean, pros, it's just dope. It's just dope. It's fun. I love music, so it's constantly, I get to not only play the songs that I want to hear, and on a loud system, and I don't have to worry about neighbors. Sometimes here over the years we get noise complaints. You know, cops would come, turn it down. But that's in the past for now. Um, and I accept requests. I tell people all the time, let me know what you want to hear. Here especially. Other places, maybe not so much. They want to hear a certain vibe. But here I'm like, sure, take requests, take requests. And I get turned on to a lot of music that I wouldn't otherwise have been, maybe into or whatever. But playing it kind of adds that extra element. And, I went from being just like a house DJ, playing house music, to, getting into hip hop, reggaeton, more recently, over the past maybe 5 years, dembo, um, Brazilian funk, lots of heavily Long Branch inspired. The people that come through here. It's like, oh, you got this, you got this, and being like, I don't have it, but I'll check it out, and maybe I'll have it for you next time, and listen to it, and be like, this is dope. So that's total pro is just being kind of saturated by all these different musical genres and different cultures, and learning about all that stuff. um, Cons, I mean, I guess there are cons. I mean, one of the big things I guess that I could say is doing this, like being in the industry, the nightlife industry, you miss out on a lot of like peak things, whether it be hanging out, other concerts, or friends or family gatherings, stuff like that. And it's like, sorry, I got to work. Sorry, I got to work. Most other people that work their 9 to 5s Monday through Friday, it's like Friday night, Saturday night, even Sundays. That's the time to do things, and those are my peak hours. Those are my work hours. So it's like, sorry, I can't do this. Sorry, I can't do that. I can't be here for this. Can't be there for that. In the beginning, when I was younger, it was cool because my friends would be out more. But then get older, and everyone starts, getting families and whatnot, and it makes it harder to spend those free hours like going out at the bar. You know, but um, that's me. I've been with my partner now for, it'll be 16 years. We actually got married last Halloween. So after 15 years, it was like, all right, let's get married. We had already had 2 kids together. Both, we did things a little non-traditionally. We kind of started the family first. Like, hey, you want to have a kid? Sure, let's have a kid. 6 years, 5 years later, you want to have another kid? Sure, let's have another kid. And then the marriage came later. Um, so, there's a lot of just not being there, for certain things. But working those opposite hours, as my wife, she works during the day and allows me to work during the night, so I can kind of like hold down the fort during the day at home. Do the grocery shop and take care of the kids, get dinner on the table, fix things around the house. So working nights kind of makes me available to that. So I guess that would be another plus to DJing, is if you have someone who uh, uh, you know isn't a jealous type, or understands it's a work, and it's a job, it's work. uh, Being able to work those opposite shifts allows us to really like have like a good influence on our home life, and not have to worry so much about daycare or anything like that. So I get to be super dad during the day and then like DJ at night, which is dope. But yeah, you miss out on a lot. You miss out on a lot, which stinks. Um, but I mean, other than that, um, it's cool. I mean, I do still get to hang out with a lot of friends. I get to make lots of new friends. Um, I love the lifestyle. I love the culture. There's really, if there were a lot of cons, like I probably wouldn't do it. Um, I've always said, I do this because I love it. Once I stop loving it, I'll stop doing it. Or if you know, I don't really do weddings or anything like that, just because I don't like to be beholden to, strict guidelines and whatnot. Occasionally, I'll do a few if the the couple getting married is like, no, we just want you to do you. It's like, dope, I can do that. But I won't take gigs where I have to kind of step outside my comfort zone a whole lot. And it just, allows me to be an artist, in that sense. I mean, DJing, I look at is, is it art or is it craft? I call it my craft, but there is definitely some art to it. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's dope. Not too many cons.
Six, six. What's something you wish you knew before you became a DJ?
Something I wish I knew before I came a DJ. Um, it's not. There's not much. Like the whole experience of growing and learning um, is pretty cool. Like I'm glad. Even not to get too meta on the interview, but even when you sent me the questions last night, I was like, I don't want to know ahead of time what the questions are. Like I like very much being in the moment. That's even DJing. People I'll be setting up and people will be like, "What are you playing tonight, DJ?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens." I very much like being in that and kind of learning on the fly. And there's always something new to learn or whatever. So I think if I go back in the past and had the opportunity to tell myself, like, oh, you got to learn this, that, it would probably put younger me in my own head too much, and not, you know, allow me to be like fully me and just, like water, just be like water, just flow and, be a part of it. So, I mean, the biggest thing, I guess, is just, um, it would just maybe remind myself, hey, listen, you're going to be in an industry and in a environment where people drink a lot, and sometimes people do drugs and they're out to have a good time, but sometimes chemicals are funny and people can get funny, and it's like, don't take it personally. Like, people react differently on, if they're drinking or whatever, and it's like, don't take it personally. Like, you don't have to be a jerk if someone's being, kind of nasty to you and whatnot. Just be respectable and, be kind, and, just try to nurture the environment of having a good time. That's it.
And lastly, what is something you want to get better at this year?
um so I guess it would be like non-musically. I would love to spread my wings a little bit more, and I love Long Branch. Never gonna leave Long Branch. But just going out more to other towns, other cities, and maybe trying to plant roots in other areas and kind of grow my audience a little bit. I like to think that I offer up something different than a lot of other DJs. And that's what's cool about DJing is, like you don't have to be like everybody else. Just like, why would you want to see a band that sounds just like everybody else, or, whatnot. Um, so it's like, yeah, to, especially with my Long Branch style and influence, go to other, bring it to other towns and whatnot. I mean, the only other place that I really play regularly is Bellworks in Homedale. I don't know if you're familiar with it over there. It's really cool. I'll give you some information, some people to contact. I mean, what you do would go over real well there. Like they would dig it. But yeah, I mean, that would be my biggest thing. I mean, maybe start getting into production a little bit, start making my own remixes and stuff like that. But it's hard, you play so many hours, and like I said before, I do have, responsibilities at home, and I try to keep that balance. I don't want to become a hermit, just, all right, now we're going to learn how to do this and, get sucked into this. Because I know that's how I get when I learn something. I want to be good at it. So I, you know, kind of surround myself with it and, drown myself in it until, I'm like, all right, this is good. But other than that, I mean, um, yeah, I mean, 22 years is a long time to be doing it. So, like, not to say that, I can't get better at things. And not to say that there aren't aspects of the craft that I can't get better at or learn new things. I guess as time comes, as time moves on, maybe I'll learn something new that I never knew I wanted to learn or I needed to learn. So, just being open to the experience and, like I said, yeah, just mainly maybe a little production and branching out a little bit.
Sick. I love that.
Thanks for doing this with me.
Absolutely. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the invite.
Yeah, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later.